Now, pornography is an example of how addiction exploits the mechanisms our brain has developed for survival. Understanding these characteristics will help you to become self-aware about your own addiction, why you find it appealing, and why certain situations triggers your cravings. In the past, it has been argued by some whether sex-related addictions are actual addictions. Sexual addiction covers a broad range of sexually related problems, and clinically, the need to manage it stems from the impact it has on one's life. For example, if the behavior affects a person in a negative way, such as causing problems in job performance, family relationships, legal issues, declined health, social and economic hardships, and if one attempts to quit, and this behavior is met with defeat, distress, and despair, then clinicians typically agree it needs to be managed and is an issue. The DSM over the years and over the next editions continually to add more and more addictions in the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistics Manual. But because pornography exploits the very mechanisms that our brain has developed to help us to survive, scientists have called it a perfect drug delivery system. And it is important to understand because you will make connections with other addictions as you learn about it. As discussed earlier, dopamine is released at the anticipation, but it is also released at the unexpectedness and novelty of a reward. Now, to give a real-life example of this, there was an interesting study where researchers placed a male rat in a cage with a female rat. As was expected by researchers, the rats mated. When the male rat was finished with his female, he left her and resumed normal behaviors. But when the researchers replaced the female with a completely new or novel female, the male rat all of a sudden boosted in energy and stamina and mated with this new partner presented to him. After the male rat was done mating with this new female, he again resumed normal behavior. But researchers continued to replace the old female with new female rats. Every time the male rat saw that he had a new female partner in his cage, his body boosted in energy and stamina, and he mated with her. This process was repeated about 7 times until the male rat, quote, nearly fainted from exhaustion. This is published in Behavioral Therapy, titled Dynamic Changes in Nucleus Accumbens, Dopamine Efflux During the Coolidge Effect. Similarly, there is a news report where a male guinea pig in South Wales broke into a cage filled with 25 females. The male didn't just choose one female, but had a sexual escapade that resulted in 42 babies. The male was found days later in the corner of the cage, so exhausted that he slept for nearly 2 days. See, when humans and animals mate with the same partner, their reward system starts to deliver less and less dopamine, and as a result, habituation occurs. But unexpectedness and novelty boost dopamine and has been observed in both human and animal experiments. This is what scientists have referred to as Coolidge effect. Humans are more pair bonders and have a large prefrontal cortex which keeps our primal limbic system in check. However, humans still get those urges similar to that of the rat in the sight of a new potential partner. But our prefrontal cortex tells us that it isn't rational, moral, socially accepted, or practical, you can pick one, to mate with every attractive female or male, in that case, we encounter. In one human experiment, participants were shown 18 pictures of the same erotic images. They quickly got bored and lost interest. But right when researchers displayed novel erotic images to the participants, dopamine surged and their bodies boosted in energy and sexual responses. Men and women had similar responses in this experiment. The reason why pornography is increasingly becoming a problem and hooking its users to the point of uncontrollable use isn't just from the ease of accessibility through internet connection on smartphones or tablets, but because of the endless supply of novelty and unexpectedness. Those addicted to porn report flipping from scene to scene and erotic clip to clip for hours on end. They may see well over 300 novel images in just over an hour. And like the guinea pig and the male rat, end up completely exhausted after. And studies have shown that those addicted to pornography start to experience negative performance issues with their real-life partner. They suffer from erectile dysfunction because the incredible amount of novelty and unexpectedness is not present when they are with their real-life partner, something that they're used to. In the context of addiction and pornography, What is even more revealing is that the brain may actually make your partner appear less attractive. This is because when our brain receives such a high spike of dopamine, the brain starts to believe that the quantity of the dopamine accurately represents the value of the stimuli. The brain now prefers being engaged with erotic clips or photoshopped women or men instead of real-life partners. One study revealed that just looking at different nude models caused a participant to devalue his wife, and he perceived that she was less attractive than before the experiment. But it didn't stop there. He also started to perceive her to be less intelligent as well. Individuals that view pornography not only acquire different tastes, but also start to have a depreciated perception of their life partner. Is it any wonder that pornography causes so much marital and relationship problems? The mass amount of porn on the internet allows anyone to find limitless number of new mates than your ancestors ever did in a lifetime. The ease of accessibility at high-speed connections truly makes pornography the perfect drug, hijacking the brain, exploiting its motivational incentive system. And an animal's brain during mating season thinks that the getting is good. But for some humans with a modern porn addiction, the mating season never ends. Through pornography, men and women can have limitless numbers of willing mates as easy as a click of a button. And with any addiction, it begins to make the user perceive real-life rewards less rewarding. The ways of instant gratification through spiking chemicals in the brain through artificial means diminishes the value of life's rewards, real rewards, and what they offer. And what I have commonly heard is a misconception of the belief that if a man or a woman were able to have a sexually active partner in marriage or otherwise, then porn addiction would no longer be a problem because they would have a partner who could fulfill this sexual need. The reason why this thinking is not necessarily accurate is because porn is much different than sex, and all of our addictions are different from natural rewards. The behaviors involved in porn and sex are different, and the impulses and desires of participants are quite different as well. Those who are addicted to porn before finding a mate will still be addicted to porn afterwards. Porn addiction becomes an addiction to novelty, not just nudity, as you can see the differences. Porn is something you do alone with multiple partners. It involves different behaviors of searching the internet, providing unending novelty, whereas real sex is together, interaction and courtship, pheromones are present, and emotional connection is present. Essentially, porn is voyeurism, watching people engage in intimate behaviors, while sex is more about companionship and emotional bonding. The widespread use of internet porn is one of the fastest growing addictions. Modern porn is not only different from sex, but it is also different from porn in the past. Today, internet accessibility at high-speed connections, unending supply of novelty, and the ease of access through laptops, smartphones, and iPads, whatever it might be, contributes to this pervasive nature of the modern porn addiction. And by learning about porn addiction, we can see it in other behavioral or substance abuse addictions. The unexpectedness, the novelty, and the anticipation.